Hello, this is Kyler again. Nice to hear from you guys. So, I'm at work right now. I am right before work. We're all getting settled in, getting ready to get into the house and basically do the final work for the carpenters. So, this is the house that I had a I would call an ego death sort of feel to it. It felt like I was planning out a sort of death in my head. But yeah, it felt like it was a part of my ego dying. And it's pretty trippy, but at the same time it was like just accept it no matter what, because it tries to scare you in every way possible. Literally, it comes at you surprise type deal. It's like, because I have that sort of feeling at work all the time. It's something I've explained in my videos, along with literally it's something that I feel could happen. It's like I just so happen to not pay attention at just the right time, and something happens just perfectly for me. But I don't know, that's just my own mind trying to trick me, you know what I mean? So I take all the safety precautions I can. But yeah, and still doing my best with the team that I have. Honestly, I'm very, very proud of the team that I have. I'm very happy that I'm with them. This is like a Suicide Squad type team. I swear. Especially since I came into the scene, I added a different song sort of view to them, and they started tripping the fuck out. Not really tripping, I swear, not really, but I'm talking about literally it was a whole nother world to them. 21 Pilots, they'd never heard it. They were listening to heavy metal, Skillet type deal. I brought them to a whole nother version, and I'm still bringing them to a whole nother version, and it's for me it's I don't know, it's all weird, especially if you have the perfect song to possibly just go through something with. It's pretty scary. So it's I don't know, I have to be tedious with my work. It's very weird. Everyone has to be very tedious. It's like an adrenaline rush now. It's like we all need it in our own ways. And it's pretty surprising, honestly, because it's 46. 6. I could say a thing or two about 6, and then 40. Well, 4. I don't know, you could look that up for yourself and see if it means something specific for you, but at the same time, what comes to mind when you just think about that? 46. Sorry to jump around, I probably just went from one subject to the other, but it tends to happen pretty often, especially when I see white cars. It's almost like follow the white rabbit type deal, but at the same time it's not. I don't know, it's whatever you feel with it, just accept it. Honestly, I like to do the Ho'oponopono thing with everything around me, and I also like to say I am, because it brings everyone up. It's centralizing a point, not on you, but yet technically, yes, it makes you the star of your movie, and then you are able to sort of put that into view of everything else, and then everything else is on the same level as it. So it gets tedious, but yet it stays there, and it's weird. But yeah, so beautiful sunrises. Enjoy them while you can, especially the ones where you can't technically see. It's oh no. But yeah, they're pretty beautiful. Especially if you just take a quick glance at them, just I am. But yeah, it's weird for me. So it's I have to give it an extra expression in a way. Or an extra, I didn't mean to do that, an extra push. but I guess it's just a documentary for me, right? So, I'm like, I really wonder where this channel is going. But at the same time, it's like, I'm so stuck in my 9 to 5 job. Well, at the same time, I just got into this job, so it's about to be getting me hella, pardon me, but yeah, literally went through hell. But, came back, not literally, but mentally. It's like, surprise. But, literally came back to what is building a house. Because you're adding value. A lot of it. And I mean a lot of value. Like, all the tedious little workers that probably didn't even know what the fuck they're doing, and I'm in here, I apologize for my language, I'm in here like, you just gotta think of it as nothing. I gotta just like, this hair, just, type deal. And it's pretty interesting, especially when things like to line up with it. So, I'm like, you guys ever feel a connection with birds? They are very enlightening for me. I love watching them, but at the same time, it's the interaction that I have with them on roads, along with just so happen to see them at very specific timings of very specific thoughts. Because I am in sync with a wave, and constantly have been. It's just, now I was actually able to push that out there in a very unique way of mine. Because, yeah, I was trapped, and now it's the opposite way around, right? You remembered yourself after losing it. I went down a very trippy path and ended up going into the hospital my first time smoking marijuana, and had to go through a very enlightening path to bring me back here in its own way. It's like, now I nicknamed myself Stitch because of how much I've been through mentally, and just like, not really physically, just traumatically, self-traumatic. There was actually a point in my life, well, it is a point in my life where I have to hate myself just to love myself, just to hate myself, just to love myself, just to hate myself, just to love myself, and it's weird. So I'm like, what is that? It's like, oh yeah, sure. It's like hard for me to look in the mirror at times, and then I'm like, wait, no, it's not. Shoot. Damn. And then I just bring it back to like, I'm like, seriously though, I do, and it's eats at me every day, but it's what keeps me pushing for another day, especially now that I'm putting myself out there as documenting spirituality, because it's definitely a lot harder than what we think. So it's pretty crazy in its own way. I'm like, how do we get that around? Yeah, it's 5%. Yeah. I'm like, you don't even know. Oh, that's glow in the dark. Right? Yeah. This is my car. It's pretty torn up. I got it for like $600. But I got some subs back there. That's the dark strap. Keep my door shut because it broke. Fucking man. Hi, Dad. Dad. That's another issue of mine for some reason. Dad. That's funny how they know that. I don't know if you heard that, but that was pretty interesting. But yeah, I'm like, it's always good to stand out. Spray painted this water bottle. With a Flex Seal. It's pretty nice. Besides that, I'm like shy in a way, but shy, but not. It's its own barrier to break. Constants, and especially now that I just like brought this into work like out of nowhere too. They're like nodding at me from a distance. It's pretty weird. But it's like, what's up type deal. But as of right now, it's kind of like we're floating, literally. But interesting, very, especially since I'm connected with that. You know what I mean? It's like they're over there doing their own thing, and they're still like hats up to me, just like, what's up? Just like, hell yeah, just like, come on, like shift type. It's like, you got it type deal. Like literally, like it's pretty crazy. I don't know what to do, but at the same time, it's like, just keep talking. It's crazy, especially the way I brought it onto them, bro. It was like there was nothing from the start, and then one weekend I just not really missed today, but told them I was gonna go in on Saturday and didn't, because I went through my own process of things for the upcoming Christmas and New Year's. So I surprised them after that, and ever since then it's been like a tedious process for me, and I couldn't understand why. It was like I was doing it, but I wasn't, but I was, but I wasn't, but I was, but I wasn't. And so it's like I feel like it's the part of me that's suffering in a way. The ego, or whatever it could be. I don't necessarily know, because it's just I don't know. It's like I connected the puzzle pieces that I needed for a sort of way, because I communicate things through pops and sounds, right? So whenever I move my neck and my spine and I pop it and whatnot, basically doesn't send me somewhere else, but it allows me to become more aware of everything that I'm around. So it's like pretty mind-opening. Are we moving? I don't know, but if we are, I'm gonna end up stopping this video and posting it somewhere else. But could just be moving. Interesting, because my buddy's still here right in front of me. High school friend. Very, very, very interesting about him. I would love for you guys to meet him at the same time. I don't know if he would be camera shy, so it'd be like probably random incidences. Like I'd take you guys to like a place around me or something like that. very well-known place or something like that. Or populated, I should say. Like, we could climb a mountain or something. I don't know if I would film it on the phone the whole time, but it would definitely be different than this. I hope you know that. Because I wouldn't be basically talking like this the whole time. I don't think I'd be talking like this at all, to be honest. But at the same time, I could bring it back. So it's its own. I don't know what to think of it. It's been pretty interesting. Especially since I feel like I'm not jinxing anything. I can go knock on this little sapling. Yeah, let's go do that. It's like releasing its own way, just to knock on wood, especially if it's a little sapling like this. Like, you see how little this thing is? Interesting. But videos and phones can be interesting at times, especially since you're low on data and you're low on, not data, but service. Because you don't get service everywhere out in Arizona. So, it's pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy. Especially since it's like, they try and hide things from other things, constants from other constants. They try and hide details. They try and distract you from anything. That's why I just don't like to stick in that word try at all. And it brings me back to like, do 50 push-ups if you catch yourself saying try. Like, I'll try and do it. Unless it's something that you actually are just going to try, because that's a different story. It's always a different story. It's pretty interesting on awakening, especially on working hours. So, I'm like, really makes me wonder, but at the same time, no. I need to bring it back to I am. Starts taking me further, different directions, deep, just to experience or so-called talk about experience and enlightening factors of experiences. It's interesting, but it's there. So I'm like, a flag flowing left. American flag flowing left. You see an electrical box. Not really far, but power lines. Porta potty. There is a dumpster right here. There's a finished house that I just showed you guys the tree of. There's another house, and then there's a pad getting ready to get poured out with concrete. Besides that, there's a beautiful sunrise, and I could stare straight into it. See many different sides of life. You'll see auras in their own way, because that also affects different visions on, well, affects my vision. But for me, it's always moving. It keeps moving. Especially when I close my eyes, I can see different shapes. But at the same time, no, they aren't shapes. Because they're just different sort of details in that sort of detail. I don't know what it is. It's pretty interesting. But at the same time, it's like, wow. My boss is here, so I'm probably going to end up having to go at 19 minutes, so let's hope this one goes. I hope you guys have an easy day and a blissful afternoon. Take care and stay up, for you were always at the top and the bottom was way too crowded from the start. See you later on another time.